Hey guys, this is Sarthak Masta from Cubelelo. In the world of cubing, many people struggle to cross the sub-30 barrier. So, I'm here to help you cross the sub-30 barrier in 3x3. By the end of this video, I'm sure you'll be sub-30 with just a little practice. First, let me get this out of the way. It's really difficult to reach sub-30 with the beginner's method. So, to make things easier, we'll be using the CFOP method in this tutorial. So, let's get started. The method we'll be using today is CFOP. CFOP stands for cross, F2L, OLL and PLL. So, as you can see, we have already divided the tutorial into 4 parts. First, we'll go over what to improve upon in cross and how to improve it. Then, we'll do the same with F2L, OLL and PLL. After that, we'll do 4 example solves just for you to follow along and see what areas you can improve upon. Then, I have a rough timestamp guide for you at the very end. So make sure to stick around till the end to take advantage of this whole video. Let's get to the first part now. Let's start with the first part. An efficient cross is an integral part of the process to get sub-30. The first tip I'd give is always solve your cross on the bottom, because the double rotation at the end wastes a lot of time. Also, you can't look for the first F2L pair while solving the cross if you solve it on top. Next, the most common mistake I see when I come across people who aren't sub-30 is that they try to solve one cross piece at a time. Solving one cross piece at a time is really inefficient and takes up a lot of time. Instead, simultaneously solving all cross pieces is the way to go if you really want to break that sub-30 barrier. Try to plan the whole cross inspection. But I know what the problem is. 15 seconds for inspection doesn't really do the job for making the best cross possible. The thing I would recommend is using about 30 seconds and making the cross as efficiently as possible. The process isn't very time-taking. The key is to be solving other cross pieces as you solve one cross piece and use the relative solving technique, in which the cross is just 1 or 2 D moves away from being solved. This saves a lot of moves. Once you're comfortable with planning the cross out in 30 seconds, you can gradually bring it down to 15 seconds, which is, as you might already know, the inspection time in official WCA competitions. Let's go for some example cross solves. For example, in this scramble, we have the cross pieces over here, here, here and here. I can see that this red cross piece and this green cross piece can be relatively solved just by doing this and this. Now, this is just 1 D move away from being solved. Now, I will try to solve this blue one over here opposite to green, like this. Then setting this orange back up, I'll solve the entire cross just by a D prime move, and then I'll put the orange back in its position. Now, in this scramble, our cross pieces are over here, here, here and here. We know that orange and red are on the opposite sides of the cube. So we can relatively solve them by just doing a D move and moving it opposite to it and just pulling the red down over here. But I also see that we have to put a green piece over here because green is on the left of orange. So our green piece is over here. So instead of just pulling the red down like this, I will put the green over here so that as I put the red down over here, the green is also set up. Then I put the green down over here. We have the last blue piece over here, which we can solve like this. D2 and then just pull this down, and now the cross is just 1 D move away from solving, like this. Learning the color scheme and where the colors go is really important for relative solving. If you have yellow on top and green on front, you will have blue at the back, orange on the right, red on the left and white on the bottom. A good cross lays a nice foundation for the rest of the solve and you should optimally aim for a sub 4 second cross. Let's move on to the F12. In this tutorial, we'll be using intuitive F12 to reach sub 30. It's mandatory to know all the basics and practice all the cases so you can get a nice muscle memory so that you can look for other pairs while solving. So basically what I'm saying is, if you're solving an F12 pair like this, you shouldn't be focused on how you're solving this pair. Instead, you should look and scout for the next pair so that there's no gap between the two pairs. This is called looking ahead. But you do require a beginner's level of look ahead so you don't waste much time in between solving pairs. You can slowly develop look ahead by doing untimed solves, solving slower than you actually would to see where the actual pieces go while solving. Then gradually increase your TPS as you do timed solves. You should aim for a sub 16 F12 so that we would have a nice 10 seconds for the last layer. Now let's move on to some F12 example solves. As you can see, I have already solved the cross on the white side and put it on the bottom. Now let me scout for the first pair. The first pair I see is on the back over here, the orange and blue pair. So setting them up and then pairing them up. While I do this, I search for the next F12 pair and I find it over here. While solving this pair, I have to track where these two pieces go. As I can see, the two pieces are here. Now we can easily solve them. While solving, I have to look for the next F12 pair. I can see one over here and its partner is over here. So while solving this, I have to track this because this won't move. The next pair is over here and over here. And the last pair I can see is over here and over here. Let's move on to the next case. As you can see, I have already solved the cross here on the bottom, just like the last solve. The first pair I see is these two, but they are misaligned. So I just set them up and solve them. While solving, I see these two. So I set this up while solving this pair, while keeping an eye on these two. Now, solving this next pair, I find these two. As you can see, when I solve this, these two pairs are already set up to solve. Now I can easily solve these two. I see this edge. The corresponding corner is over here. So solving this case, now we are done with F12. Now that we have two layers done, it's time to move on to the OLL. You should know by now what OLL means, so we'll not go into that. Here, we'll be using two-look OLL, in which you make a cross on top like this, and then use another algorithm to solve the entire top side. It's important to learn two-look OLL algorithms to get sub 30. There are just 10 algorithms which you can check out in the link in the description. There's not a lot of trouble in this stage if you want to get sub 30. The only trouble you might face is that your finger tricks are not optimal for speed solving. Let's fix that then. First things first, if your cube is a potato cube and you have to use your wrist to turn it, then you'll have to buy a new cube. I'd recommend buying it online as the local stores don't have a good design for speed solving. You can buy cubes just like this one from Cubelelo.com. We have a whole catalog with real affordable cubes as well. Even these cubes are optimal for speed solving. Next, let me show you how to do basic finger tricks. U, U prime, R, R prime, L prime, L, D prime, D, B, B prime, F prime, F. There are also some finger tricks that use in some algorithms for faster execution. For example, you can do U like this or like this. You can do the D move like this. Sometimes you can do U prime like this. These are situational finger tricks which can be used in some specific situations. Make sure to practice all OLL algorithms so that they are ingrained in your muscle memory and you don't have to think about what moves to make. This makes your execution a lot faster. An optimal OLL should be done in under 6 seconds. Let's get to the PLL stage now. Here I'm talking about 2-look PLL which has 6 algorithms. You can check out these algorithms in the link in the description. Make sure you do a lot of solves to practice all these algorithms to get them into your muscle memory. Also, make use of good comfortable finger tricks to solve as fast as you can. You should aim to solve the PLL in under 4 seconds. Let's move on to the example solves. We'll be doing 4 example solves in this video, so let's get started. As you can see, we have the cross pieces over here, 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 and here. The orange can be easily solved with just one move, also setting up the green piece, like this. Now we can also solve the red cross piece like this. Now solving the green cross piece and setting this up for just one move, we have solved the cross and now it's just one D move away from being solved. Make sure to solve the cross on the bottom as previously discussed. I see the first pair over here. Setting this up and solving it, I see these two get. I see these two. I see the next pair, the orange and the blue one. Keeping an eye on them, I solve the red and the blue pair. Now we have to set these two up. I see these two now. Last pair I see these two. Now for the OLL. And the PLL. In this solve, we can find the cross pieces over here, 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 and here. We can easily solve this piece just by setting this up and solving this relatively. Then next, we can solve this piece just by setting this up and solving this. And then we can solve the last piece over here like this. Now, the first F2L pair that I see is this one and this one. This can easily be solved like this. Also setting up this pair. I also see these two, which we'll get to in a while. Now, getting to these two, I also see these two. Now the last pair. Now the OLL. And now the PLL. In this solve, the cross pieces are here, 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 and here. These two are already set up opposite to each other. So let me drag this down, and then to solve these two, I'll just set them up, put the green in the right spot relative to these two. Now I can also easily solve the red piece opposite to orange. Now dragging the two pieces down and solving it relatively. Here we have the cross. The first pair is over here. Let's set this up and solve. I see the next pair over here. Setting this up, I also see this one over here. Now let's get to this pair while also having a look at this one. This can be easily set up like this. Here's the last pair done. Now moving on to the OLL. And now the PLL. In this solve, we have the cross pieces over here, 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 and here. As you can see, the green one is already solved, and the blue is opposite to the green already set up. Solving these two, and now we already have the red set up with just a D2. Dragging the green down, and we already have the orange one set up. Now we can easily solve the cross like this. First pair I see is these two. Solving this pair, we can already find these two. Now we can work on these two like this. The next pair is over here. The last pair is over here, which can easily be solved like this. Cross on top in the OLL is already done, so I guess I'm a bit lucky here. Wow, the corners in the OLL are also solved. Well, let's solve the edges now. Now let's discuss the timestamps. The appropriate timestamps for a sub-30 second solution would be cross in 4 seconds, F2L in 16 seconds, OLL in 6 seconds, and PLL in 4 seconds. Wow, this was a fun video to make. If you have any questions or queries, make sure to leave them in the comment box so that I can help you. Best of luck then. If you liked this tutorial and thought it helped you, press the like button and share this video with some of your friends who struggle to get sub-30. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get updated whenever